Hello and welcome back to the Movie Marathon Podcast, a place where we watch movies and then we talk about them. We're not experts, sometimes we're not even fans, but I assure you we are huge fans of today's movie because we are talking about the newly released Toy Story 5. My name is Gabriel. I am your sheriff for today, and I'm here with my moving buddy Dixon, as always.
Heyo.
And completing our roundup gang, Phil is back to close out our Toy Story series. Yeah.
What's up, Red?
So in a previous episode, we did movies 1 through 4. We ranked them all. And at the end of today, we will briefly just update our rankings with number 5 in there. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about Toy Story 5 and our first experiences with this brand new movie. So Phil, what was your first experience with Toy Story 5?
Juneteenth, 9:15 a.m. show in the morning, packed theater. My daughter actually went to daycare, so didn't take my daughter. We were kind of on the fence about it, and part of me kind of wanted to go just to kind of just take her there, but she's not even 2 yet, so I think it would have been hard for her to sit through it. And so my wife and I, we were big Toy Story fans, and we kind of enjoyed it as like critics and kind of just like really enjoy the Toy Story movie and see the next chapter, what they're going to do. And then down the line, we always could we already saw the movie just to take her maybe, just to say we took it to the movie with already knowing what already happened in a way. But that was my first experience seeing Toy Story 5.
Very nice. Dixon, your experience with Toy Story 5.
I saw it on a Saturday of opening weekend, and I saw it it was a little bit later. It was a 9 o'clock showing. So I was a little bit concerned. Well, at first I was a little bit concerned.
He saw 9 a.m., you saw 9 p.m.
9 p.m. the next day, yeah. And I was a little worried about going to see a Toy Story movie by myself. I was like, am I going to be the creepy old dude that's in the theater?
Dressed up as Woody?
Yeah, did you wear the Woody costume?
I did not wear the Woody costume, unfortunately, but I thought about it for like a half a second. I was like, I cannot go again by myself to a Toy Story movie. But the theater was not packed, but there was a decent amount of people there, even for like a 9 o'clock showing on Saturday night. No kids, luckily, so I didn't feel as bad about it. But yeah, it was a fun experience. I didn't see it in IMAX. I saw it in Dolby, which the last 2 movies I saw were actually at a Dolby theater, and I've been liking it a lot more than I remember. I hadn't been to one in a while, and I really enjoyed it. I think I always kind of I think most of us probably put IMAX at like the top tier theater experience for, visuals, obviously. With Dolby, the sound is great, and the visuals are actually really awesome too. So I was a little nervous going into it. Like, Pixar, it's going to be like a high quality, the images are going to be great. So like, would Dolby take away from that? But no, it actually ended up being really great. And I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I think I saw one of the avatars in Dolby, it looked good. I mean, you can't really tell a difference. It just looks great.
Yeah.
But this movie, Toy Story 5, will always hold a special place in my heart now because I saw it with my son. First time, his first movie, and he sat through the entire thing, my dude. And
wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Not 4 yet. He's like 3.5. So it was a good time for him. But yeah, I wanted to wait for the right one. You were saying it, Phil. Like there were other movies that came out that I wanted to just jump the gun, but I'm glad that I did wait because I was able to watch the movie. I was still looking over at him a lot, and I kind of had a feeling of, is he gonna jump out or is he gonna be done now? But it wrapped him the whole time. It caught his attention. So yeah, always gonna love Toy Story 5 now. What better way to show a kid a first movie than a Toy Story movie? It's crazy. It's crazy. We were 5 years old when the first one came out, and now I'm taking my kids to it. So wild.
That's an awesome experience to have too, to take your kid to a first movie and then to have him enjoy it just as much as you would hope he enjoys it too. That's just awesome.
It wasn't like a shit show where we had to leave the theater and do other things. And I even told Lauren, I was like, you might just have to walk around with him if he dips because I have to watch the movie for the podcast. So
right. I was like, how are you critically watching this and with your son? But the fact you're able to do both is impressive.
Yeah, the fact that it's only because he sat. Otherwise, I was like, Lauren, you might have to go to the mall if he leaves, and I'll just chill here. And I saw it on I saw it opening day. I saw it Thursday, and we saw it at 2 p.m. It was packed. It was packed the theater, all with kids. It's like no one works. At least like I took off, but it's like no one fucking works here. But it was filled with people and children. So yeah, good experience, very good experience.
Nice.
All right, I think it's time to call a staff meeting and get into production history. Staff meeting, everybody. All right. Before we get into the film, let's talk quickly about how this one came together, because the Toy Story never really ends behind the scenes. So we thought we were done with 3. Then we thought we were done with 4. For sure, allegedly. Tom Hanks said on Ellen DeGeneres in May 2019, just before number 4 came out, definitively, this was the final one, number 4. Tim Allen had warned him about the emotional goodbye between Woody and Buzz, said we couldn't do it. And here we are. Regardless of the reason that we're back, we're here. How do you guys feel? Not about the movie, but just that Toy Story is back. And how did you feel that they were coming back for a 5th one when actually Bob Iger was the one who announced it, when they announced they're doing Toy Story 5? How did you feel, Phil?
I said it a couple of times in the podcast throughout different movies. I always want to see my favorite characters on the big screen. These characters are icons. They're generational now, or cross generation, I should say, where now your son's going to grow up and my daughter's going to grow up watching these characters. And they're going to want to, when they're older, they're going to want to see the new Toy Story, even if it's a Disney Plus short, right? Or you always want to see these new characters, more new material. And every time they do it, it's always a good movie. And, we'll talk about obviously our opinions about it, but I think that somehow Toy Story managed to not only have you love these characters and every time want more, and for the most part, it's a good movie. So whether or not it should have ended in this, ended in that, they still doing a good job at not making it like a complete kid movie mess. Like, I got to be honest, I watched the Minions trailer on the way to Toy Story 5, and usually I don't get there that early, but I wasn't sure if there was going to be a Pixar short or not. So I was like, okay.
So bad.
I can't imagine that. But
dude, the trailer came up for us when we were there, and Theo was watching. I was like, if he gets into this shit, I am so
it's like, fucked. Compare that to Toy Story, or it's just like it's night and day. Where there's a difference between like a movie where you can watch with your child and when you both enjoy it, where it's like, oh, a movie where this is just for my child.
Yes, yeah, and it should be for both.
Yeah, and it's for both. So to go circle back to answer your question, yeah, it's awesome. Love seeing these guys again. I know the whole thing about Toy Story 3, it ended perfectly, but you know what? Hollywood wants their money, and we're going to give it to them. Keep making more.
Yeah. Dixon, how do you feel about that?
I think I heard about them first when they first announced Toy Story 5. I think I heard about it in the context of what the initial concept was going to be. And so when I heard that it was going to be about the relationship with tech and how the kids relate to tech, I was kind of like, okay, at least they're making it relevant to real scenarios that parents are probably having to deal with right now. So that was interesting to me. But at the same time, I was like, oh, this just seems like a cash grab. They were probably like, we need to keep putting out Toy Stories because people are going to go see it and we can make a lot of money off of it. But I was interested in the concept and the main idea behind what the movie was going to be. So I was like, all right, at least they're doing something interesting with it. Like they're bringing in a new character, obviously, and they're going to, bring in a different dynamic that they hadn't had in any of the other movies before. So I was like, okay, at the end of the day, that's a pretty good idea. Let's see what they can actually do with it and how well they can make that concept work.
Yeah, that is exactly where I landed as well. When I had heard that it was about toys versus tech and the devices, I was like, okay, that is a really interesting concept and something I hadn't heard. And I'm not here to trash on 4 or do any of that. In the scope of movies, it's an amazing film. And it's just a lesser, as we all feel, in terms of the original trilogy. But like Phil said, all the Toy Story movies are good. So I know I'm going to get a strong film out of this. I love these characters. And when I heard that concept, it's like, that's really smart. That's what excited me.
It's a good concept because every parent, or a teacher, like these kids are hooked up to the tablets or the phones. And sometimes adults we are too, right?
Yeah.
And it's just the idea of just like what about these toys? Like what about the toys before technology was around? So I just did, and then now you tell me you put those Toy Story characters in that dilemma. Yeah, well, how could you not want to see that?
It's a great evolution of our beloved toys. And even you said the thing about the parents. There's a shot in the movie. It's very quick in Toy Story, but it's with the dad when he's checking on Bonnie, and they have these scenes where kind of it's like all the dad, then it's all the mom, then it's all the dad, then it's all the mom. But there's a period where it's just the dad, and he is very device heavy at the time. You see him on the laptop, and he's probably working. I would assume he's not, but I've been in that position where I'm on the laptop and I'm just working around my kid. Or later, when he checks on Bonnie at one point, his cell phone's in his hand. I don't know if you know the shot. He's in like the doorway and he just like peers over and he's like, Bonnie, what's up? And he's just holding his phone. And that is almost like a haunting shot to me. I thought about it multiple times around my kids because I'll just bring my phone around me around the house to room, will just be in my hand. And I've heard stuff, I've seen stuff where it's like, try to leave it not with you or don't always put it in your pocket because your kids will think it's this object that always needs to be with you. And that was just a very poignant shot of them just like, what's up? And you just see that they obviously showed everyone's on devices. They go through the houses and there's the glow. So that was more just like really putting it on pretty heavy at that point. But that was a very subtle way of just slipping it in for me.
You say you brought up like a haunting idea. There was this shot where Jessie goes up to the roof and she's looking at all the houses and you see all the people like on the devices, or you see like the lights in like the windows and everyone's on their device. That scene alone itself was kind of scary because it's like, realistically, how are you going to break kids out of the cycle of being on devices if they're already on it and get them to go back playing with toys? Like in the the scope of the movie, like to me watching it, I was like, oh, there's no going back. Like kids are always going to be tied to a pad device or any sort of tech versus just playing with dolls and any other kind of toys. So that to me, I'd like, honestly, when I was watching that scene, I was kind of like, oh, I was getting Toy Story 3 vibes of like, there's no, this is the end kind of for toys in general, So it was a little scary at one point. Like I don't know where they could go from this.
Well, to me, like I definitely want to, like, I think we could dive into the movie.
Yeah. No, let's we could break around and then we'll just go back to it.
So we talk about the tech. What I loved about the movie too is that they show what the Lilypad thinks is best for Bonnie, and then what the toys think is best for Bonnie, right? And then in the ending, you realize, they have to compromise to be what's best for Bonnie. Mm-hmm. And so I love that, and I love that it's like, oh, I got these games. Look, I already set up a group chat with the girls in the dance class. It's friend request, and Jessie's like, how are they friends? What are you talking about? They're not there. And then it's like, and so that concept is, and then vice versa, where it's like, well, now she's not social. She kind of played with her toys. How do you be social with just playing on a tablet and have a tablet sleepover?
Right.
And like, obviously we don't know that yet. And, I think girls will look differently. So we'll see when I get to that point with my daughter. But, I remember being a kid and just like staying up all night and playing like a Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
And it's the idea that we're technology or things like that. And like, I remember, I have friends' moms or like, hey, go outside. I don't want to go outside. Like I'm doing a season mode right now. We're playing like Slugfest, Ken Griffey Jr. And like we're in mid-season. Like I don't want to go outside right now. Like, and so I get that then. So I can't even imagine now with like the group chat and like the emojis, all that stuff. Like it's crazy. Like and Toy Story 5 did a great job of making it feel somewhat realistic. I guess Bonnie's kind of like a tween maybe now. I think she's like late elementary school. I think my guess.
I think they say she's 8. I think she's 8.
8? Oh, she's a little younger. Okay,
I think she's 8.
Okay, because the way right.
It's interesting that you say that because I had to look up, and they say it in the movie, but I missed it. They say how old Blaze is. I think Blaze is 9. But in the movie, when I was watching, I was like, this girl seems like a teenager. And they do that on purpose because the tech is aging them up. So the rooms and all that don't feel like kids. So it's deliberate, which is it's really well done.
Right. And then they get the game, like those turtle game, has to pack, the Lilypad game this morning. I guess that was kind of kiddie, but like the way they were, like the friends and the social networking of it seemed like a little more like 8 is like second grade, I want to say something like that. Or right. Yeah. Second or third grade. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's interesting because the group chats, I hear it from family or friends that have kids that are older, that are like teenagers. Not like, we have little kids, me and Phil, and toddlers really. And they'll say, we try to keep screens away, all this stuff. And we try to keep screen time and screens at bay. We don't give them an iPad or any of that. We just really show them movies, Pixar movies, stuff like that, things that have a plot. But ultimately, the battle is a losing one, because other people do have iPads, other people do have group chats, and then you don't want your kid to get left behind. So it's the endless struggle of, you want them to make friends. And I thought Toy Story did a really good job of kind of telegraphing that even though Bonnie's parents seem responsible and, they have their own screen things, but they're a house that isn't addicted to it in many senses, she's being left behind because other kids are doing other things. So it's a very, it shows you the catch-22 of it all.
100% agree with that too, because I'm sure you guys know. You guys know kids growing up who didn't have like a video game console growing up?
Oh yeah. Or like we were getting cell phones.
It always was a little weird, and like they always wanted to play more at your house, and
or
for me for cell phones, right? So I was always different too. I didn't have a smartphone until I was like a senior in college. I didn't have a smartphone.
Yeah.
I know you guys joke around about it, but like in a way, it's true. Like I'm not good with tech. Like I had dial-up forever, so like to me, it's like I'm okay with that. Like, oh, I have friends who have smartphones, whatever, and then like I eventually need it. Like
yeah, exactly right.
That's how, even now that's how I am. So, but like it affected me at an early age like that. Kind of being behind technology. Like I would never get the newest system, but I would always have one, right? Where kids were like, and like me as part of who I am now as an adult. But I knew there was always kids who didn't even have systems or consoles, and it was always just different. And how they socially, it was just a little different. Kids I know now, I'm like, I don't know. As a parent, like you got to balance it. And obviously it's not a parenting podcast, but Toy Story 5 talks about, I guess it's time for them to get it one. You got to balance it a little bit, because then the child's going to want it more.
And they say
deprive them
in the movie, the parents' intentions are good. It's so Bonnie can socialize more and be more. So they do it not out of like a boredom thing. Bonnie doesn't need it for play. It's just they do it with good thoughts. So it's interesting, and I'm glad at least we were talking about the character of the Lilypad. I'm glad at least that she does have, even though her actions are not right, she does have the best intentions. She just wants Bonnie to have friends.
So compare that to Toy Story 4 with the Gabby intentions, and it was more self-intended.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted that daughter of I guess I don't really remember her name, of the antique shop to notice her, and she'd never voice box.
Harmony, I think.
Harmony, yeah, good job. Harmony, yep. And so this felt Lilypad, because it was related to Bonnie, not just again Harmony. I forgot, like Toy Story. Like this felt more personal, more grounded. I think Lilypad was like a better villain. That kind of wasn't a true villain than basically what they did with the Gabby Gary character because of that. And I did notice, I'm not sure you guys noticed or not, when they first introduced Lilypad, she was on the bed and Jessie went up to the bed, very similar to Toy Story 1, where Woody went on the bed and saw Buzz. So I kind of like that as well, that directing decision.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was great. I did notice that. Since you mentioned the director, we could call him out. Andrew Stanton, who's a huge Pixar guy. If you know Pixar films, he co-wrote all the previous Toy Story films, directed Finding Nemo, Dory, WALL-E, and he came in and directed this one. So I think you really see his touch here. He's a huge Pixar player, and he directed some of my favorites. WALL-E is one of my absolute favorite films. So I'm glad that he was behind this. And yeah, even the directing with the buzzes felt really strong, and he did just a really nice job.
What do you think, Dixon, about the Lilypad character - villainish role?
I think I agree. I think they did a good job of keeping her, like, at first it felt like it was just a villain character. Like she was just there to do basically everything that the toys didn't want. Like whether or not she was like, oh, I'm going to do all like X, Y, and Z things, the toys were like, well, no, you're not doing this the right way or the way that we think would work best for Bonnie. So I think that dynamic was like, at the end of the day, yes, they all want Bonnie to make friends and to be happy and to play with everything. They just went about it in different ways, but they did a good job of putting them both against each other and being like, yeah, we have different opinions on the best way to do this, so that's what's gonna keep us from agreeing with each other and working with each other. So, yeah, I think I think it was a good balance between making the lily pad be so bad that there's no way of her redeeming herself at the end of the day. But you still were like, no, you're not doing the best thing for Bonnie. Like you're not going about it the way that makes the most sense for her. So I think there was a good balance between those two sides.
Greta Lee is the voice of Lilypad. She does a lot of stuff recently. I'm not as familiar with her work, but we already went through the character. How do you guys think, just in general, the voice was? At one point, there was a rumor that this might have been Anna Faris, but she was never confirmed to be in the cast or never was added. But how do you guys feel Greta Lee did as the voice for this?
I think she did fine. I think she sounded like your stereotypical kind of, not AI, but like, your assistant, your like tech assistant kind of voice. So I think that was what it needed to be.
What else has she been in that I would know her in? Because I gotta be totally honest, her voice sounded like exactly right, exactly what I would picture the lily pad to sound like.
Yeah.
She's been in like a bunch of some Netflix stuff. She was in Russian Doll, The Morning Show, and then she was in Past Lives. I don't know. That's the only thing I really know her from. I love that film, but yeah, that's okay. Really I know her from. She did a cameo in The Studio, stuff like that.
So a lot of like Apple TV stuff.
Yeah, just a lot of streaming and recent stuff. Yeah, not many films.
She did a great job. I think Lily Pad was a great character. My favorite part of the movie was this scene. This is my favorite scene in the movie, and I'm curious, did you guys like go nuts in the theater when you saw it? Right when Jessie like went to the neighbor's house and like, oh, Tech's over here, and like the sandbox.
The guys
turtle,
come out.
Like, my parents actually still have one, the sandbox turtle, and they have like, what are you doing? Tech's invading your house, and they have this like the decision to have like a Scottish like pirate, and it'd be like, yeah, Tech. Oh, you're lucky you don't have Tech here, and then like an old bunny rabbit, energized bunny comes out. It's like tap.
Yeah.
What? Tap.
When it like fades into the bush, it's like tap.
I was like trying not to laugh out loud. Like Jenna's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like trying to. Like, I love when Toy Story does stuff like that.
That's so Toy Story.
Yeah. I love like the Duke Kaboom like club scene inside like the pinball machine. Like that's the one Toy Story 4. Like to me, like that was my favorite scene. Like so, I just love when it's like you do something so ridiculous, but at the same point, it's like it kind of makes sense. Like I love that scene so much. Even talking about it now, like I want to rewatch Toy Story 5 just to watch that scene again.
It's what they really do best. They've been doing it since really Sid's house. The like the forgotten toys, or the toys that like come out of the ground and kind of scare. And they did it twice. Really, they did it in the scene at the neighbor's house, which was so good. That was one of my favorite scenes too. And then later,
the tea time.
And then later they do it again. It's at the tea time, and I love that where the grass is all grown in, and they won't let her out. They don't want her to leave, and all that is so good, so good. Yeah. So, since we're talking about more casting, let's go through some of the new faces we have, new voices. So probably the biggest one addition to this one, Conan O'Brien as Smarty Pants, and then he's really the one I want to talk about in this breath, but because he'll go along with the other ones, you have Craig Robinson as Atlas, which I did recognize his voice during the movie, even though he doesn't have that much to do. I
did not recognize that. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Craig Robinson.
Yeah, he's the hippo one, and then the other one is Snappy, the camera, voiced by Shelby Rarborough. So I don't have much to say about Snappy either. But what do you guys think about Conan and the addition of these characters?
I heard about Conan being in this, like maybe right before I saw this movie, or like the day before. I think I saw it on social media, and I thought he was great in it. I thought he was really perfect for like an in between of, you have like there's Lilypad on one end, there's the toys on the other end, and he was kind of in between. Like I think that role was like, yes, it was a tech character, but he felt toy-ish enough, even though he was technically like a tech role. Mm-hmm. But he felt like it was like a good blend between the two, because he could still do things like a toy would. Whereas Lilypad kind of felt like everything she does, every action that she took was based around her technology and being, involved in like the social media aspect and like everything that was involved like in the internet. Whereas Conan O'Brien's character could actually physically do things and interact with the toys. So I thought that was a nice blend between the two sides that, they were trying to portray in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. Love the fact that they have old tech toys. So not just old toys versus tech. The fact that they have like the old, so basically it's like a flip phone style, like Craig Robinson Hippo.
Mm-hmm.
The Smarty Pants, Conan O'Brien was great. It just, the idea, whoever's decision to do old tech versus new tech, and like so the old toys and the old tech have to team up versus the new tech. It was such a good decision. It felt like so like well thought out. Like the timeline of this movie was so like well thought out. It's incredible. The voice acting is great. I gave like casting, you can look it up. So we talked in the previous podcast about Bullseye and why he never actually was ever had a voice.
Mm-hmm.
And do you know who voiced actually Bullseye in this movie?
I have it. We could ask Jason if you know.
No, I don't know.
I don't know who it was, but when I saw him talk, I'm like, oh my God. Because in Toy Story 2, they if it's a budget restriction, they chose not to make it, give him the voice. And then obviously it's like tradition now, like horses don't talk, and now in Toy Story toys.
Yeah,
So,
I love
because
that.
of that decision.
I love that none of the other horses talked. But yeah, so to answer your question, Phil, it's Alan Cumming voiced evil Bullseye. He's credited as. So Alan Cumming, he's an amazing actor. He's done so much stuff. GoldenEye. He was in Eyes Wide Shut. Listen to our episode. Yeah, he is Nightcrawler in the X-Men films. So a huge actor, and does a lot of theater. But Alan Cumming is more than even just 5 roles that I just named. He's an incredible actor.
Yes. He's the guy who plays Nightcrawler in
Yeah.
animated show, or the
no, in the movies.
In the movies, the one with what's his name, Patrick Stewart ones.
Yeah. And he's coming back in Doomsday.
Amazing.
Yeah. He I love when he was talking in the imagination scene. I immediately thought of us because we had just talked about that Bullseye doesn't talk. So, and they had their cake and eat it, where they don't like destroy continuity. I don't need Bullseye to just be a speaking role now. They added more to his character in this movie just by having him do more with Jessie, and then they also gave us that moment where Bullseye talks. So that was fun, really fun.
Yeah, and they had like I really like the decision where Bonnie was different than Andy playing now.
Yeah,
where they had this artistic like cartoon kind of style.
Love that.
Yeah, I like that. It takes you like, hey, this is even if you're a child, right? In your head, okay, this is Bonnie playing imagination. This isn't real.
Yeah.
And we also, sorry, go ahead.
I was saying with Andy, you could kind of tell it wasn't real, but at the same point, like it was the same style. It was just like, oh, here's him in a spaceship. Oh, okay, it can't be real. You know what I mean? Like, but if it was easier for a kid, like a kid's movie, to spot the difference from the art style.
And we also got Andy's viewpoint from those intros. Like in 3, we got the full story. Like that, the whole intro to 3 was his interpretation of the playtime, or like what he saw going on with like that whole train robbery scene, and then like Pig coming over in the spaceship and taking them down. So like that was like Andy's perspective, which looked the same as the movies, but now we're getting it because it's Bonnie, because it's a different kid. We're seeing it from a different viewpoint. So the animation's a little bit different, a little more,
illustrated,
artsy, more illustrated. Yeah, it definitely had a different take, which was good for them to kind of differentiate. Like if they would have done the same thing and just shown the opening scene in the same style as the movie, it would have been like, oh, they're just doing the same thing from the other movies. But it was nice that they switched it up a little bit and made it a little different to kind of be like, oh, this is what Bonnie is viewing, or like this is how she sees it. Or you could also say that this is how the toys are viewing everything, because they know what she's talking about and they know the scene that she's trying to portray. So it's interesting. You could say like, all right, this is how the toys view the world that she's creating for them while she's playing with them. So I thought that was really cool.
And they did a nice job where boys and girls just play differently. So it wasn't necessarily that Bonnie's playing. Bonnie's playing just more gently than Andy would play, just slightly different. They do a nice job of bringing it all in, and they still have both imagination plays, still have like suspense and villains and all that, but it's slightly different. So I really enjoyed that. It was good.
They rewrote the wrongs of 4, because 4 they didn't do this at all.
Yes.
She plays with the toys. It's like it's more like Bonnie playing with the toys. It's not. You don't even really see. I don't even think. Do you even see Bonnie's imagination in Toy Story 4 at all?
No, no, you
I
don't.
I think you just see Andy again playing in the beginning, right? Yeah, which
The
is
opening they faded into Andy playing, into Bonnie playing, and you see her playing with toys, but you don't see inside.
yeah, yeah. So they really they redid that, and my biggest thing on the podcast, I talked about Toy Story 4. My biggest issue with the character of Buzz and how they basically turned Buzz into everyone's favorite, like witty, like smart character, who just has some brains, has some good dialogue, like Toy Story 2, and it's like somewhere deep in there, you told me that, I forgot exact. I don't want to butcher the quote, but it's worth, there's a toy that is worth living for if the kid cares about you, or whatever the quote was, to like him just hitting his chest and be like, I don't know what to do. And it's like, report the Star Command.
That was the
Retreat,
worst part.
yeah. So they basically turned him into like Eric from Boy Meets World, where it's like, hey, Sean and all these characters are getting really popular now, so we're just gonna make you a slapstick. Like that's basically what they did to Buzz. Thank God they made Buzz a normal Buzz again, but they still kind of made him like goofy, like how he's like doesn't know how to propose to Jessie, and so they still kind of had that dynamic where like he was kind of goofy, but like he also was smart and like knew like how to prepare different things, like how to be a deputy, like how to communicate to the other Buzzes. Um, and so I really like they made this is what Buzz should be in every movie, and his dynamic, his with Woody. I just love when they brought Woody back, and I got to bring it up. I love the fact that like Woody took a sticker, like, well, I'm a deputy too, and it kind of shows that like a little bit of like that ass Woodiness, where it's like Woody's everyone's favorite. Like he's a leader, he's charming, but like Woody likes to tease and mess with Buzz still, and it's like they just show that. I love that. So like those kind of scenes like really make me love Toy Story 5.
The rivalry is still there. They
Yeah,
keep it fresh.
it felt fresh, but at the same point, it's like you can watch the first one, and it's that same tone of like Woody kind of being a little sinister, and like Buzz is like, oh, don't do that to Buzz, but Buzz is like also is like not dumbed down. He really, he's still smart. Buzz, he just gets picked on a little bit. Like I just that dynamic was awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. Before we get into some of our other favorites, just want to mention a couple other 5 people. So we have a cameo from Bad Bunny in this.
Oh yeah.
Do you know which one he played? Who he played? It was very small.
He was the pizza, right?
Yeah, he was the pizza with
And
the
Jenna
sunglasses.
turned to me and goes, "That's Bad Bunny." I'm like, from the Super Bowl?
Wait, she knew? Did she know just by his voice, or she knew?
I think she knew. I think she told me before he talked, because he's only in one scene, right? He's only
Yeah.
in the tea scene. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So she told me like, here he comes. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's funny. What do you guys think of Blaze, our new kid? Not our new kid, but it's the first time we have like a friend kid. What do you guys think about Blaze? Dixon?
I thought Blaze was cool. I thought it was a good way of bringing her in and introducing her within the context of like Jessie's whole story of her going back to her original house, like where she kind of like what was her first kid's name? Emily. So when she goes back to Emily's house, so it was like, all right, there's a reason for us to go here, to be in this place, and we're introduced to this new person who maybe we don't really know that much about Emily except what we got in this story, but it was a good way to kind of tie those two storylines in together, like bringing in this new character that we know is eventually going to connect with Bonnie somehow. I mean, as soon as they brought her in, it's like, okay, well, this is going to be Bonnie's new friend. But I thought she was a good person. Like you could kind of see like how well she interacted with the toys and like played with the toys, just from having like all the horses lined up and like everything in her room, even though they did make it seem like she was older than she probably was because of the tech. But you knew that there was a side to her that was like, okay, she's going to actually treat the toys well and play with them and like be a good kind of conduit to bringing Bonnie out of her, I guess, shell that she was kind of stuck in because of the tech. So I thought they did a good job with those two sides of the character.
Mm-hmm. Phil?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it was the way they had her introduced, and it didn't feel forced. It felt like natural. Like, oh, this is our house, and this is Jessie's. Jessie knows the house so well, and the toys the old tech toys also didn't get along with Jessie right away. Just like, she didn't just all of a sudden be like, hey, let's play because we both don't really go, we don't make friends with technology. Like, they kind of like throughout the movie kind of work together. A couple of times where you didn't know, will they, won't they play kind of thing. So I think that was really good dynamic. I also felt that she was older too. Like,
Yeah.
she also didn't seem like an 8-year-old child to me. Again, she also felt like a tween child to me too.
I thought she was like 12 or 13 at
Right,
first.
right, like pre-teenage, right, 11, 12ish, right, 13 maybe, something like that. Yeah. So I didn't. That's the only thing where I was like, oh, is she playing with Bonnie? I guess, and maybe she's a year old. I was like, she seemed a little older for sure.
Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, even her playing with the beard and like joking around. It's like at the end of the movie. Yeah, I think it was a good character. Again, I think Toy Story 5 really wrote the wrongs on a lot of ways. What Toy Story 4 did.
It's funny you mentioned the beard scene. My son laughed out loud at that. He was enthralled the whole time, but he wasn't like laughing. It's a fun movie, but it's not very like, or it's sort of fun, but it's not very funny. Like the other ones are a little bit funnier. It's a little more slapstick. This one was a little bit deeper, which I'm not necessarily complaining about. But the beard scene, he was like cracking up at. He thought that was so funny.
Well, Toy Story 4 has a whole set piece where it's like Kay and Peele, Ducky and Bunny, like attacking this grandma.
Yeah.
And it's solely in there to make children laugh.
Yeah. The Plush Rush.
Yes, Plush Rush. Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned the Key and Peele guys, Ducky and Bunny, because my next thing I want to talk about is we have a whole slew of characters. Pretty much all of our characters are back in one form or another. So I'll get to our OGs in a second, but from 4, Forky is back, Tony Hale. He has his wife now, who's played by Melissa Villaseñor from SNL. Duke Kaboom is back. Happy about that, but I have just a slight note about all this. So Duke Kaboom, Keanu Reeves. Bo Peep is back pretty much more or less as like a 4 character. She doesn't stick with Woody. Do we like the keeping of the continuity, or is it hurting this? Is it becoming a little more overstuffed? Did we need all that back?
I love it.
You're good with it.
100% good with it. I don't need, like, when I heard like Jeff Garlin had a falling out and like Buttercup, I don't need. Okay, so I was looking at it. Was Buttercup in the actual movie?
I didn't see them at all.
I didn't see them at all. So I don't know if they clearly took them out or like the aliens didn't have a dialogue, but they were in the wedding scene at the end. So I was like, oh, so if one thing you show them in the background, that's fine if you're not a major character. I think in Toy Story 4, I don't even know if Slinky Dog talked at all.
Barely. Well,
right. So he had a couple more lines in this one, and obviously it was a new voice. It wasn't Jim Varney.
Yeah.
So I like it. Yeah.
That goes into my next point, and Dixon, I'll let you take the next one. But so all of those toys are back. All of Bonnie's other toys are back, except the one that Phil mentioned by Jeff Garlin. So you have Dolly, Trixie, Prickle Pants, voiced by someone different, not by Timothy Dalton, who voiced him in 3. And then you have our OGs, Slinky Dog, who's now voiced by Blake Clark. He also did in the last one, although very few lines. John Ratzenberger's back as Ham. Wallace Shawn's back as Rex. And then the Potato Heads are both back. Obviously, new actors, rest in peace, Estelle Harris and Don Rickles. But all of these characters kind of get sidelined. I don't need to pose a question to that necessarily. They're all kind of on the sidelines. 2 questions here, though, for you, Dixon. How do you feel about that our supporting cast has kind of been pushed away a little bit? And Potato Head's voice. Did you guys could they get no one better for that?
There was one scene where I noticed it and I was like, oh, that's definitely not Potato Head. Like it's so clearly not him. Yeah, I agree. Like they could have gotten somebody better for it. Or like,
here's what I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, I think you can notice it's noticeable, but like he barely he doesn't have that many lines, so it's not like
he's like 3 lines.
Right there, so it's not like the new Kermit where it's like, I'll be honest, I can watch Muppets over and like my brain can't like understand like the new Kermit. Like that's not Kermit. Like this is Potato Head. He's like 3 or 4 lines a movie now. It's not in the beginning where it's like the opening scene. He's like cracking jokes at like a hockey puck. Like it's a completely different dynamic. So 3 lines in a movie, it doesn't affect me as much.
But it also stands out a little bit more. it's one of those things where it's like if he had more lines, maybe after a while you're just kind of accepting that it's not the same, like, or you just don't even realize it. Maybe the first couple of lines you notice it, but then once the movie goes on, you're kind of like, oh, okay, this is his voice now. Like maybe he's aged, or you can make whatever argument you want about it. But
it's tough though, man. Once you have that it's not like it's a person, right? So if one thing you see a person's face, like, hey, this is it, like, Ann Vib didn't renew a new contract the last season of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Okay, we're just gonna pretend this is a different Ann Vib for the final season, but she's a different face. This is you're not seeing the person in the studio do that, so it's hard. Once you have that voice in your head, it's hard. It's hard to change that. So for 2 or 3 lines, honestly, it didn't really bother me at all during this movie.
I heard it.
No, I mean you could notice it, but I don't think it's like, again, because Kermit talks so much. Right? I'm telling you, listen to the new Kermit. You're like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But these people can't get anyone better that is like exactly like it. There's got to be someone.
I'm telling you, I literally, the new Kermit, I was like, oh my God. Like, I heard people on YouTube like do Kermit impressions of this guy.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm sure you can find a Don Winkle's guy who does it better, but like, he's a no-name actor. Just like, honestly, put like, hey, who sounds like Don Winkle competition?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah. I heard it and I was like, oh,
yeah.
I was like, it doesn't sound really anything like him. But in general, it's like a chicken or the egg. Did they not give Potato anything to do because the lines didn't sound good? But in general, also, no one had anything to do with them. And I get it. The plot isn't about them and they are supporting, but they're part of the reason why I love Toy Story. So they could come out on the adventure. That's kind of how I felt about 4 too. They could get off the RV. There's ways to get them out, but
I know. The thing is, you do too many characters now and too many new characters. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, you want to feel attachment to like Poopy Pants or Smarty Pants and the hippo and then like how all of a sudden you need lines in from Mr. Potato Head and like Mr. Potato Head and like you need lines for these characters. So it gets tough where it's more like, hey, fans, hey, they're in the movie, we can forget about them. Kind of thing.
Exactly. It's a balance between wanting to bring in new characters, making the story different, making the story, a little more exciting by having these new, characters that bring a different perspective or a different type of feel to the movie, but also playing into the nostalgia of the original characters. And like you said, you need to have Woody and Buzz be involved. They have to be at least partially involved in like the main storyline of whatever's going on. You do want to see those OG characters a little bit more involved than I think they were in this movie. At least I did. But there's a balance. You want them to do something. I think I would have preferred that they did a little bit more or been a little bit more involved than they were. But I think it was, and again, we're building towards hopefully a 6th movie. I think that there's going to be a 6th movie, but hopefully
the next one,
hopefully the next one will be everybody involved equally as much. So you kind of get the best of both worlds.
We'll see. Well,
let's didn't they say something about they want to end their trilogy with a Bonnie trilogy with 6?
I think would be the move. I don't know if we'll hear when it will actually, but I think it's a foregone conclusion. We'll get a Bonnie.
Then Tom Hanks is still going to get older and Alan. So like, if they ever did 7, then Woody's going to be a new voice. So like they basically in the next couple of years they'll probably do. I can see them doing 6 and like ending it. I don't know if this. I never say never, but like it's going to be hard to replace. Like replacing Tom Hanks and Tim Allen is completely different than replacing Don Rickles. And I love Don Rickles. But like the role of 2 or 3 lines of movie to like, Woody took a backseat kind of in this movie. So like, but in fairness, he had all 4 was Woody's movie.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how you'd make these movies without their voices.
You can't. Yeah. Let's talk about the big 4 because at this point we already dipped into Buzz and Bullseye, but the Woody, Buzz, Jessie, and Bullseye are our biggest quote unquote characters in this. And Bullseye, we danced around a little bit, and he does get more to do, but it's really tied to Jessie, and this is Jessie's film, so everything is kind of related to Jessie around the 4 of them. Bullseye is obviously her companion throughout the movie. Woody's impetus for coming back is based around Jessie's disappearance. And then Buzz, the whole film, is essentially working to propose to her. So I agree that Buzz's character definitely rebounded in this. It felt like Buzz again. And again, they have their cake and eat it. Like I said with Bullseye, they get Bullseye to talk, but another Bullseye. In this one, you get the 50 Buzzes, and you kind of have your your stupid Buzz, your fun Buzz, without dumbing down, I'll say, Tim Allen Buzz, our classic Buzz. So they really do it well here, where 4, it was character assassination. Almost one of the worst parts about 4 is the Buzz stuff. So I absolutely loved when the Buzzes are running through the campsite and they all drop, and they essentially address what we talked about, where it's, well, how did the Buzzes know when to drop? And they address, they're like, or what did they, I forgot what they said something, but they're like, we drop,
They literally go, why did we just do that?
Yeah. It was so clever.
They still didn't answer the question though. It's like they just did it, but it's
like instinct. It's just like confirmed breathing, and they eventually accept that they are toys. They slowly kind of build to that, but that was really done well. And I agree, like we were saying, Buzz was done well. The only thing I want to talk about for him is essentially his arc is proposing to Jessie. Are we fine with that? Is that fine where Buzz is meant to go at this point?
Absolutely. I think that they set that up in 3, and I don't remember them doing really anything with it in 4. So it's good that they brought that back, and they kind of maybe not brought it to a conclusion, but it was like they were inevitably going down that path. So I'm glad that they brought it up and did something with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just to pat Toy Story 2 in the back again, I love that it would have been easy to have Jessie be the love interest for Woody and be like, oh, Bo Peep kind of, but it was the first movie. Yeah. Hey, they're both from the cowgirl, cowboy from the same show. They didn't do that. So I love that in Toy Story 2, they didn't do that. And then 3, obviously, with the Spanish Buzz, they kind of built in that and like, oh, I know Spanish mode for you, Buzz. And so they kind of hinted on that. I'm kind of lukewarm with the Million Buzzes. I didn't love that opening with like Star Command. I was like, compared to some of the other openings of the movie, I was just like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, I wanted, I just didn't love it. Or like all the AI buzzes, like what, but with the QR code, and like it's part of me would just, that didn't resonate with me. I don't know. I just didn't love it. All these million buzzes like that. The idea of it, I guess, is kind of cool, but at the same point, like I just didn't. It didn't make me feel loved like I did some of the other stuff they did in the movie that I talk about. I just kind of like, I guess they have all these buzzes. It makes sense. Let's do a QR code. Everyone uses QR codes for technology now. But I just think the beginning was just weird. Like Star Command, they're stuck on an island and they're just showing all these buzzes go through. I guess the purpose of it was his Buzz Lightyear with technology and they're learning how to become toys. Like I don't know the exact purpose of the movie. Like why were all these buzzes in the movie? Like that's my biggest like argument against it. Is like, why are they in there again? Like it makes sense what they did with it, but like they didn't really have to be a million buzzes in the movie. Like the buzz proposing, I get that. We already know there's a million buzzes. Toy Story 2 did that. So like I don't know. That's but
I think they were kind of like they were plot devices at the end of the day. Like they used them for certain things. I think they were Wi-Fi boosters
like
or
to help
Wi-Fi
him get
routers.
out of the truck or to help him get routed. But like, it was basically like plot things. Like, I don't know how do we get out of this? Oh, hey, the buzzes can do it.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. It just felt like a little like crutch for like the plot a little bit.
They were plot devices at the end of the day, but I thought it was great how they set it up where it was like you don't really know what's going to happen with these buzzes. Every scene that you show, like they showed them, it was just kind of like them being original Buzz and like still thinking that they're space rangers and moving as if that's what their thoughts are. But I liked how it was just like dropped in randomly in spots that you don't really know where it's going to get to until they end up finding everybody at the end at that at the house. But I thought it was great. I loved all the Buzz scenes. It was a great, again, it was kind of like a callback to 1 of like you get this version of Buzz while also having smart version or regular Tim Allen version of Buzz. But to kind of go back to your point about Jessie, like it would have been easy to have Jessie and Woody get together. It's interesting because the 3 of them, Jessie, Woody, and Buzz, is kind of like Harry, Ron, and Hermione in Harry Potter. It's almost like, oh, you would assume Hermione and Harry would get together, but then Ron and Hermione end up getting together. Spoilers for Harry Potter if you haven't seen it.
It's like it's like Luke, Han, and Leia also.
Yes,
you're not sure in the beginning, and then they end up being siblings, which is kind of like Woody and Jessie. You can call them siblings in their own way. So I man, 2, Phil, 2 is rising for me right now because you're right.
is the best. Dude.
They don't
it's
play
not
into that.
debatable. It's the best.
It's really
It's the
good.
best.
Really good.
Like, now after Toy Story
This
5,
makes it better.
it makes 2 even like, oh wow, like Bullseye, all these characters are just 2. Like it makes 2 even like after actually like, one of my first things walking out of the theater was like, wow, this makes 2 even stronger of a movie. Because my biggest argument is always that these characters add to the original movie, and you feel like, wow, I can't believe Jessie's not in the first one, and like it just now what they did with Jessie is like, oh my god, it's a layup.
Yeah.
Like that 2 is the best one.
It's in many ways it's like a sequel to 2. It's very interesting. They went back
I
to the well.
really like this movie. Like I said, I have a couple negatives, I guess, like nitpicking, but like the Buzz thing, it was the only thing I didn't love. I'm not saying it was bad. And Dixon, honestly, you kind of talked me into. Yeah, I just when I first saw it, I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, you know, and like them cutting away to the buzzes. I was like, I guess it just felt more like the buzzes could help do this. The buzzes, I don't know. Like, it was cool the scene with the buzz in the campfire. It was cool, but like I don't know. Like, it's just weird in a way. And then like we have all these buzzes here, so like, hey, let's get them out of the truck, or like, hey, they all found a owner, and like they just come down at the end credits. It's like, yeah, you have to do something because now you have all these buzzes here. Like I didn't love. That's the only part of the movie I didn't love. That was like a main part of the movie, not like a nitpicking thing.
It didn't really connect. I understand what you're saying. Every time we cut to the buzzes, the plot stops. For 5 minutes.
I didn't love when they're like they're on a crane and it's like star command, star. I was like, I don't know. I didn't love that part of the movie.
I like the idea that it was just put that version of Buzz in the real world. So like we got the Star Command Buzz in Andy's room and like dealing with the toys. Now we get him like out in the world trying to figure out.
Sure, we already saw that though. So just basically the same thing with more buzzes with AI technology belts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I already know that. I already know that he's like evil galactic Gurg, whatever. I already know his brain thinks that way.
But it was kind of cool to see him like taking on the real world in that version of him, and with a bunch of them too, so they could like kind of work together and they're all on the same page basically. Like that's what I liked about.
I mean, was it cool? Like, did it remind me of like when we were kids watching the Star Command show and they're all like in the woods with the lasers? I'm like, yeah, it was cool, but like they didn't have to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny we focus so much on the Buzz stuff because a lot of people would say that's not the controversial part of the movie. It's that you don't have Woody as the main character. So Woody and Jessie, I want to talk about them in, the same conversation because this is Jessie's film. I think, I don't want to speak for all of us, but we're all kind of in agreement that it worked. I think just based on our conversation hours so far, we all liked that Jessie was in the lead, but they go hand in hand. You can't have 2 leads, so to speak. So it's Jessie or Woody. They kind of make a choice in this. So how did you guys feel about all of that? It's a complicated question, but particularly I want to hear about the Woody of it all. He has a much, much smaller role in this. Did you miss him? Did you feel like we got enough? Did that ultimately work for you, Jessie and Woody, or just Woody?
I think it did. I liked that it was a different take. It still felt like a Toy Story movie at the end of the day. Like it didn't feel like you weren't losing anything by having Jessie be the main character, the main role in this movie over Woody. I think we got enough of Woody to satisfy him not being the main character. But I think they did a really good job of keeping it, like making it still feel like a Toy Story movie, but going at it from a different perspective or a different main character's perspective. And so I think they did a really good job with that as Jessie as the main role.
Yeah, I agree. I think Woody was enough in the movie that he didn't feel like a Mr. Potato Head. They didn't dumb him down like Buzz Toy Story 4. Like I said, a while ago, I love the dynamic they had with the 2 stickers. I'm the deputy, and Woody's just effing with him. And it's like he puts a sticker on. They call back to the fans that I'm sure everyone noticed. It's like when they're both with all the buzzes, and it's like I'm falling with style. Like
Mm-hmm.
So like they do that. So you still have the Woody like that. They joke around about Woody being the oldest toy with a bald spot and like a little bit of a gut. Like you let yourself go, Woody. Like because like now so like Andy's not around anymore. It's got to he let himself go. He's an older toy. Like so. I think they really did a good job with Woody's role. And then as far as Jessie, you do something different. This is the 5th. I said the same thing about Scream or other stuff. Hey, 5th film of the franchise.
Shake it up.
you have to shake it up now. You still keep what made you famous, what the fans love, but now you have to do something different.
Yeah. I loved her leading this. I thought she did a great job, Joan Cusack, and Jessie was perfect to be the main. And really, it's an ensemble film. Even though there is one lead, you have all these characters and all these scenes that we talked about, the characters throughout. But I missed Woody a little bit. I missed having him around a lot. But I don't have necessarily a complaint that they chose this route, if that makes sense. And I'm the one that was complaining about overstuffing it. So I can't really say, give me more Woody and give me more main cast, but also I'm cool with the Jessie stuff. So there's no perfect way to do it. But
and the movie was like an hour and 45 minutes. Right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a short movie.
No.
So it's for a kid's movie. That's pretty long. That's closer to 2 hours. So, how much longer do you really want to make this a movie?
Totally.
Because, the story was, you want to watch a Woody movie? You watch Toy Story 4 then, if you want to see more about Woody-centric movie.
Right.
Yeah. And obviously the first one, you can make a case. The first one is very big into Woody too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because the first, honestly, as much as we say about Buzz, and it's Buzz and Woody, the first one, though, is Woody learning to deal with other acceptance, and like the second plot is Buzz figuring out, who, what is he meant for, and then like who is he really supposed to be? Because this is what he thought he was supposed to be in his life.
Yeah.
And so I think those two movies are really big into Woody. Yeah, I mean, you can make a case 2 is also Woody kind of again, I guess. So like, I don't know. I think 3, Woody kind of takes the backseat a little bit compared to some of the other stuff. So 1, 2, and 4 just basically, I would say Woody's 1A 100% the lead in those movies. If you really want to see Woody.
Yeah. Yeah. The first time we see Woody back in the bedroom in this is the first and only time I think we hear the "You Got a Friend in Me" riff, unless it came up during the credits, right? We didn't hear it sung in this movie, right?
I don't think so.
I think there was only time. Yeah, it did not come in the movie. Yeah.
So this would be the first time we don't hear it in a Toy Story movie, which I'm such an asshole because last time in our rankings episode, I was complaining that it seemed a little tired. I was like, maybe we don't need to keep on hearing it. And then we walked out and I was like, we didn't hear it. We didn't hear "You Got a Friend in Me."
I said the same thing. As soon as the final credits rolled, because I stayed till the end of the credits, I was like, they really didn't play it at all.
Yeah, I'm shocked they didn't play it after the Taylor Swift song. I thought they were going to play it.
Right?
That's what I was hoping for in the credits.
I thought for sure. And I saw like Randy Newman's name. I was like, oh, what did Randy Newman do? There was no original songs. There was no original songs in this movie.
Well, there was no original songs that he sung, but I think he wrote the music besides the Taylor Swift song.
But he wasn't his voice. I didn't hear Randy Newman's voice.
No,
at
that's
all.
what I'm saying. I think he
even
wrote
in 4, like, can't let you throw yourself away. Like,
no, but Phil's saying
Newman.
like everything is done from previous movies. So even if he scored it or composed it, he just took his old stuff from the other movies. He didn't do anything fresh.
What news? Like 4, like one of the biggest things we always said is at least that song was in there.
Yeah.
There's no new songs at all in this movie.
Yeah, not from Randy. We had the Swift
not
song,
even
but
Newman.
nothing from Newman.
Taylor Swift song, but that wasn't even the movie. It's a credit song.
Yeah. I mean, since we're talking about Swift, did you guys like the Taylor Swift song?
I'll be honest. There was families in front of me talking some of that, so I gotta look. I didn't have time to go back and I want to listen to it. I only caught the end of it. I don't know if it's about Toy Story at all. Like, am I completely wrong? Maybe I'm missing it. I heard the end of it and I was just like, it's gonna be just generic Taylor Swift.
It sounds like a Taylor song. I agree,
but it doesn't sound like a Toy Story song. But again, I only heard maybe. It was hard for me really to listen to it because families were getting up and leaving. Like, kids are not staying for the post credit stuff.
Allegedly,
right?
Allegedly, it's I only heard it from the movie once, and I listened to it preceding the podcast, so I have to sit with it more. But
pull up the lyrics of the song. Is there anything about like? Okay,
it's written from Jessie's perspective, so that's apparently they like hint at Jessie's progression, a new beginning for like having someone, but it's like about her relationship with Emily. I don't know the exactly how it works, but yeah.
I would just love like Taylor Swift. Just do like When Somebody Loves Me, like cover.
Well, I love that we got the riff throughout the movie. Even I think it was in the beginning. I was like, oh, it feels so good to like hear it again. But I didn't need to hear. I didn't need to hear When Somebody Loved You, but I did need to hear When You Got a Friend in Me. I needed it. Even just play it in the credits. after Taylor's song. I wasn't even there for it. I had to get out of the theater. My kid got through the whole movie. I was like, let's get the fuck out of here.
That's what I'm saying. So it was
Play
hard
it.
for me to even hear because all these kids are now leaving and I couldn't really hear it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I just didn't have time to listen again before the podcast. But I want to because my only impression, like Taylor Swift's great, right? So she's very talented. I just didn't like, I don't know. It didn't feel like a Toy Story song. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, hey, it just basically Disney, but like, hey, we gotta get those Swifties in the theaters.
It felt a little random.
It felt just like an end credits song. Like, remember those like 90s end credit songs that weren't the songs that were in the movie? Like, remember, like, I don't know if it was
Men in Black.
No, I'm thinking like I don't know, like Lion King or Beauty and the Beast, how they did like the R&B version of the hit song that was in the movie. It wasn't like that. It was just like its own thing in the credits. And yes, I agree. I think it was just so that they can say that there's an original Taylor Swift song in this movie. But I don't recall hearing it at any point in the actual movie or like a version of it in the movie. So it literally just felt like it was, let's just tag this into the end credits and be done with it.
Now I'll say this to help out Toy Story 3, We Belong Together. I think that's only in the end credits.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, it is.
Just to be fair.
But still,
it's Randy Newman.
Yeah, it's Randy Newman, so it has that feeling. But I think the song is good, but I would have preferred her to just do something a little more country at that point. Randy Newman has like that folksy feeling. It felt more like a Taylor song, and I think that Taylor could have done more like a Toy Story song, if that makes sense, in that Randy Newman kind of style, where this just feels like any other Taylor Swift song. So there are other ways I think they could have made it work in. But I don't have a problem with the song necessarily, but it just doesn't sound like Toy Story.
Yeah.
Agreed.
If you guys can believe it or not, we have not really even got into our plot breakdown. So I think let's just get that done for our listeners.
Incredible.
Set the record straight because you are a toy.
You are
okay. So transitions, baby. So we teased this a little bit, but let's just get through the plot in some broad beats here. We open a cargo ship filled with high-tech Buzz Lightyears, crash landed on some desert island. They're stuck in demo mode, and they all point to the sky and follow the North Star for Star Command. So I know, Phil, you already felt like the buzzes, and this was a little bit detached, I would say, from the film in some ways. And I like how you kind of were like, oh, shit, like, is something wrong again? Like, are we screwed here? Because we kind of said the movies all start with some imagination play. Even 4 moves into imagination play after the Bo Peep intro. So a little concerning at this point. Dixon, did you feel like something was off, or were you just like, I'm good, we're all good here?
Oh, I was good with it was a different type of intro for Toy Story, but it didn't feel wrong for Toy Story at the same time. Like, it was like, oh, okay, they're gonna take this in a different way, but it didn't feel I didn't feel uncomfortable about it or like, where are they going with this? I enjoyed it. I liked that it was a little, you're kind of trying to figure out what's happening at the same time. Like, you're looking at it, from the same perspective everybody else of like, is this a play? Like, is this, Bonnie's imagination where she's talking about all these, toys, and then it kind of, you realize like, oh, this is actually real. This is actually happening. I was totally fine with it, and I really liked all the Buzz stuff. The Buzzes stuff, I should say.
Yeah, you liked it more than I did. But again, I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it.
Plot-wise, it did feel a little bit separate from the story, for sure, when you have so many other things going on. And that brings us to Bonnie. So she has that illustration mode playtime, and they're in this kind of wedding scene and all that. And everything seems fine with Bonnie at the start. We all love our Bonnie. And then you kind of see that the neighbors don't really want to play with her. And you get the sense, oh, is like Bonnie like a little peculiar, or are these kids weird? Are they just mean? And you kind of then segue into the tech of the film. And so her parents get her the Lilypad, Lily, to help her socialize. And pretty much instantly you get the glow, and Bonnie's just like zoned in and starts neglecting her toys. And it's very obvious how things are kind of going this way. And Jessie had been appointed the new sheriff in Bonnie's room, so she takes it upon herself to interrogate Lily. And we get this great scene mirroring one where she comes in the bed and looks at her, and we immediately get her antagonist in Lily, and she sends the friend requests, starts the games, and it seems like she's kind of helping Bonnie at this point. And this is a point that I want to talk about because this movie particularly does a lot of stuff from Bonnie's perspective. In 4 we did a lot of Bonnie too, but we get way more Bonnie than we do Andy in 2 films. In the first film, Andy's kind of just trying to find the toys. He's in and out. In the second film, he's away at cowboy camp, like literally the whole movie. And in the third one, he's grown up. So it's really just focused around the daycare. Do we feel that the movie goes too far into like an inside out kind of territory? Are we too much inside Bonnie's character and Bonnie's head and not enough in the toys? Do we need more toy time and less Bonnie time? Phil?
Okay. So on the other podcast, I brought up and we talked about a fan idea that they want to do Andy collecting the toys, and as adult Andy has a child now and he wants to get the toys back for his kids. And I don't know if I want that because because in that concept, Andy's now an adult like us. And Andy's basically like a good version of Al, collecting these toys again for his kids, but for the play with, not to display, right? Bonnie, they somehow made Bonnie like likable for me, where like before that I was just like, she's just not Andy, but I get it. Like she's like basically they're trying to make a girl Andy for the next generation. I felt this movie made Bonnie likable. The screen time was not overdone. I like how in the beginning of the movie, she was kind of shy and didn't know how to approach the new twins in the block. And by the end of the movie, they actually showed the twins. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Mm-hmm.
They show the twins running the play with her and Blaze. So I love that as well. And I don't think I think Bonnie, because she's the kid, they made her part of the plot, because the plot was not toys really versus tech. I mean, that was part of it, yes, but it also was how does tech and toys impact a child, and that was also the theme of the movie. So if that incorporated nicely with Bonnie and how to interact with kids on tablets versus kids who don't really socialize through the internet and social media like that.
I think you needed to understand Bonnie's perspective on things, because that was the toys' motivation. The toys' motivation was to help her make her connections with her friends, and so that's what the toys were seeing. They were seeing her, her uncomfortableness with like trying to make those friendships, and that was what was going to motivate the toys to do what they did throughout the movie. So I think the level that they showed us of Bonnie's perspective or what she was feeling or what she was thinking was absolutely necessary to show us how the toys were going to, make their decisions or do what they needed to do throughout the movie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
What do you think? You agree with that? That it was fine with Bonnie having more screen time?
I like Bonnie and I enjoy the character. I think that the movies are about the toys. So it's not that I have an issue with the Bonnie character development, but I don't need it. I don't need it that much, if that makes sense. I could just do with the toys. I could have Bonnie coming in and out, but I don't know how you do this plot necessarily the same way. You can't do it elegantly without having the effects on Bonnie. And that's kind of in the next part of the plot, what I go into. So Jessie goes, she calls Woody up. We kind of talked about it. We get the balding Woody and Woody's return and all that. But so she calls him, she gets him over. But what I want to get to is that Bonnie is progressing and she has friends now, and she gets invited to a sleepover at her friend Chelsea's house. So during this, Jessie and Bullseye stow away in her backpack, and Bonnie also takes Lily with her, and they go to her friend's house with Heidi and Kara. And she essentially gets rebuffed. It's funny that I know these girls' names, right?
Did you write this? There's no way with your son on your lap you would have these names. Did you write it down?
No, I did this afterwards. I did it afterwards.
Okay. There's no way you know these kids'
His face
names.
was so good. They essentially bully her for bringing toys with her, and I had my son with me, and I felt a little like, oh, don't go too deep in this, because I didn't want
It's Pixar though. They love
I
that.
know. I just didn't. I was glad that he finished the movie because I didn't want him to happen to like walk out and then not get the resolution or think like, oh, toys aren't cool or something like that. So this was the most heavy-handed I would say a Toy Story movie was, and that's why I bring up the Inside Out reference because I love the Inside Out movies, but they're a bit heavy, and I was like, oh, like is Theo gonna think like it's not cool to like play with his toys? And meanwhile, we brought Woody and Buzz with us, and obviously that didn't happen. He came home and played with his toys, and he does imagination play like all the time. It's like one of my favorite things. Like watch him do all this crazy stuff. So it didn't matter, and I guess that's the whole point is you learn the moral of the movie. But I was just like, oh, like are they playing it too heavy-handed for Toy Story? But I guess not. The answer is no, I would say ultimately. And I know based on your other answers, guys, you would say no too, right? There's not, you can't go too heavy-handed.
Yeah, I think it's fine. They balance it well. I think Inside Out is actually even more. Like
It
that,
is,
like,
yeah.
Even the first one, like bing bong, bing bong. It's like oh, like so. Yeah, it's tough. Like, I don't think Toy Story ever really hit that. I mean, other than Toy Story 3, right? I don't think there's really been another moment in the franchise that you really, really like get that emotional like that. Like it's like the Inside Out series does.
Three hit me the hardest, I think, of the Toy Stories still. I think 3 hits the hardest. So now is when the movie really starts getting moving. And you could tell this is like kind of where they really wanted the plot to go. And I love how they do tie in the Emily plot with the tech. It's pretty seamless. Where the Buzz is a little bit choppier. This is nice. So an elderly couple finds Jessie and Bullseye after toys love jumping out of cars. So they jump out of cars. And, preceding this, just for our listeners, I did skip some other stuff from the film because we just talked about it, like Jessie going to the neighbors and stuff like that. So just rewind if you want that. But so
best scene in the movie though.
Best scene. So we get this scene where they get picked up by this elderly couple and they find the inside of Jessie's pants. It says Emily's name and a faded address. This would have definitely been taken off by Al, right? This is they just let this one go, Pixar, right?
Yep. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that the guy that cleaned up all the dolls didn't notice that.
Mm-hmm. And my wife literally is like, the minute it happened, she's like, that would have got cleaned up. I'm like, okay, relax.
Never, yeah.
She's like, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, okay.
Can you make an argument that whatever the material is on the outfit, maybe like the paint or whatever he used to cover it up, eventually like seep through? You know what I'm saying? Like devil's advocate. Like maybe that was the
Pixar chess champion. He cleaned it up.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he got it.
Dixon, you can't rush.
So good. So Jessie and Bullseye now get taken to Emily's house. How did you guys feel? Did you feel in the moment that we were going to see Emily
at the house?
Yeah, like did you think that maybe this was still Emily's original house? We were going to see Jessie's owner.
No, I didn't think so.
Okay.
I think because the way that in 2, she leaves her and drives away. I assume that she moved somewhere, other side of the country or whatever. But no, I did not think we were going to see Emily.
Yeah, no, I did not either. My honestly, my only major two issues I had with this movie was the multiple Buzz thing. I kind of didn't love that idea, and also the kind of like joke off of like, hey, these toys, it was kind of like it was just like, oh, hey, how do your toys get all the way over there? And like it was kind of like, hey, whatever kind of thing. Where every other Toy Story movie, they show the toys travel, and in a way where like it would be believable for humans to believe how these toys were here. Like, oh, I found it in the car again, or like, even in the original, it's like the parents are blasting Kuna Matata so loud they don't notice a firework went off, and that they made it back in the van in time. So this is the only one. It didn't make sense. It's Jessie's paddling such a rare toy that like how all of a sudden it's like you hear it doesn't make sense. If I was a dad, I'd be like, what the hell? I was like, I just put these toys back in the box. How the hell you have a vintage Jessie doll? This is insane.
That's true. So, if I found like a Jessie in my house, didn't have any associated, like, what the fuck is this? Like, where did this come from?
Like so that it did like no other Toy Story movie did that. So that to me is a little more of a red flag than like did Al get like the Gerald guy to paint Jessie's like a dress. I think that like it just no other again, even as sometimes we crap on Toy Story 4, It's like at least kind of like they have like the flat tires and the RV going crazy. It's a little, it fits the slapstick style of the movie. This movie played a little more serious, a little more inside out, and like that just to me was the part where I saw it in the theaters. I'm like, I don't like this. They basically they got out of the plot holes with like, hey, we'll fill it in with the buzzes. They couldn't have the random like the million buzzes get them out of that spot. So it was almost like I said, it was a joke. They made a joke out of it, like how they get here, and we're not going to talk about it again.
Right.
Like it's a toy. How do the toys drop when you see humans? Like, hey.
That's true. I guess and that's a natural thing in a series. They kind of like just kind of let that go now. It's like we've seen them travel. We like just like we're good. We got that.
Yeah, that's the thing that bothered me because the other series didn't do that.
I mean, all of 2 is them traveling.
Yeah. But they show it. But even the original, they show them traveling. Like 2, the traffic cone scene is amazing. But even in 3, you see Woody with the hang glider, like escaping Sunnyside, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like it just like Bonnie finds everything makes sense how they find him. It doesn't make sense because they're connecting online. So like, how would they get these toys? They're not common toys.
Right. Yeah.
That's all I would say. But yeah.
Well, yeah. So now we get where Jessie she gets the tea time scene, which we talked about already. That's very fun. Gets trapped in there by the pig, and it's all these like crazy isolated characters.
Oh, and we didn't mention Combat Carl.
Yes.
The Ghostbusters guy,
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. Yeah, I thought he was. I mean, I love Carl Weathers. I thought he did a good job.
He
Dixon,
did.
I know you're. What do you think about that voice before you said what you going to say?
Incredible. No, I was going to say that the pig being called Jimmy Dean was just icing on the cake. That was incredible.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah.
That was a good joke. That was a good adult joke too.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I
over
love
the kids'
adult
heads
joke.
for sure.
Of course. Right. It's like they think little kids know breakfast sandwiches like that. So
Yeah. So
definitely.
So then Jessie is on a hunt for Bullseye because before she got trapped in tea time, they were in the barn and we're talking about just random toys appearing places. Blaze finds Bullseye and she's like, "Oh, perfect." And just like picks up this toy in the barn.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. That's the thing that like if they would have figured out a way not to do stuff like that, it would have been like Toy Story trilogy. To me, this movie would have been trilogy level good.
Yeah.
I think to me that's one of the main parts that really hold it back.
Right. She could have been like, "Dad, like, where is this? Like, where did this toy come from?" And he could have been like on a Zoom where he was and just like, yeah, it's mine. And that's an easy way to just kind of like write it away.
I don't know. It's like every other movie you show the traveling, like where the humans can believe it, and like like if I'm like this is a rare toy, like like I don't know, like you tell me like the mom was talking about what the hell, how come you have my kids' toys? Like you can't buy this anymore. Like it just doesn't make sense.
It is so funny, actually. Yeah,
I'll be pissed. Like this is not like my neighbor's toy. Like the neighbors actually took it, like Sid's or something. Like they had to drive in a car all the way across town. It just.
What is the explanation for that?
They do not. They just. I think they say a line in the movie like, "How do the toys end up here?" That was
for our listeners.
That's them addressing
for
it.
Our listeners, we're skipping way ahead, but yeah, there's a scene where to get Blaze and Bonnie connected, they take a picture and they put it on the lily pads, and that's how they connect. And we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, how is that explained?
Where that was the part that I'm telling you that was like it doesn't make sense. That's the part where they got a little lazy. It's Scream 7 spoiler. It's Sidney Prescott like, hey, I survived. I know so much about this stuff, but I'm just gonna go on foot and run to Main Street and not get car keys. Like it's that kind of like, what are we doing now? Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's if I was the parent, I'd be like, how did you get the toys? Where did you get these?
You're a child. You're again. They're not middle school.
Right.
They're not like 5th grade. These are supposed to be 8-year-olds. 8-year-olds don't just show up with vintage toys.
I feel so stupid that I didn't even like question that. That I was just like totally along for the ride. I was like, oh,
they got you, bro. They got you.
I also want to say something if we're talking about like things that maybe don't make sense, and this might be just me not being a parent. Do the kids having access to like chats and like group chats and stuff, does that seem a little weird to you guys?
Seems young for me, yeah.
Right? And just being able to talk to people on the internet, like maybe
strangers.
The parents could have been like, "Did you get these toys on the internet? Like, how did you get a vintage toy? Did you talk to somebody like that you weren't supposed to talk to?"
Safety.
Like that seemed a little. It seems a little young for them to be able to just chat with anybody.
Yeah, right. Just put a open call to anyone in the world. Do you have my toys? Have you seen my toys?
Al would have came back up. That would have
that would have been so good if there was like a post-credit scene, like Wayne Knight
Al
just like,
responding
like so good.
Al responding to the email, like he shows up to the house.
That
"You
would
didn't
have
get
been
my toys."
such a good twist. Oh my God. Ugh,
I know, man.
damn it.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I know, but Toy Story 2 is already on the pedestal, so that would just make it insane.
Yeah.
That if they did that, that literally would be like,
That'd be
I would
crazy.
just, with a lie detector, like, yeah, it's better than Godfather 2. Yep.
All right, let's keep banging this out since we talked about this whole fucking movie already. So they go in the house. They're looking for Bullseye. Jessie meets Atlas, Snappy, and had met Smarty Pants in the room already. So they're taking around the house. I do love that Jessie's just essentially going through her old home. It's like a fun way to like get her back in her old space. She like knows the bedrooms. And I love that Toy Story is back in a house. 2 and 3 and 4, you're not in homes, you're all over the place. And this one does obviously a fair amount of travel, like we said, but mainly once you're back at Emily's house, pretty much takes place inside the house. So I love the toys are the best when they're inside houses, looking through drawers and like kind of running around. So I do love that we get that back. And so
Agreed.
as we're at Emily's house, we find out, it's the Manukins. Her dad is on Zoom essentially the whole time. Blaze has been kind of taken out of it and is not so imaginative, but we get this great scene where she plays with Jessie and we essentially get more character development of Blaze. Her friends bail on her too, and she sends that call out to find Bonnie's toys. While this is all happening, we get our classic Toy Story Woody and Buzz like reconnection here. So Woody comes back to the room. All the toys like rag on him that he's old man, even Forky and Lilypad. And then we get this rivalry of Woody and Buzz for the deputy. And they go through this whole thing where they're trying to challenge Lilypad and they unplug her. She runs out of battery. It's all very, very fun. And I felt like that was like classic Toy Story to me. How did you guys feel about like just the rivalry back in mode?
I mean, Woody is clearly the deputy, right? He's the true deputy. Yeah, I totally agree. Classic Woody and Buzz banter back and forth. Like there was one line, I don't know if it was Potato Head or Ham. It said, "Oh, it's nice to see them fighting again." It's like that is a perfect summation of that their dynamic in this movie. It was nice to see them like. Again, they're working towards the same goal, but they're going about it in two different perspectives. But just to see them doing it together in the same way that basically what they were or how their dynamic was in one was awesome. Love to see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love when they're jumping on the car, they're racing and trying to go in the back of the car together.
Yeah,
kind of remind me of the first movie.
That my whole theater cracked up at that.
It was great.
So at this point, skipping around, Bonnie now is on the way to the house. Her mom gets the call out. They're like, "Oh, these must be your toys. Let's go get them." Her other toys were in the garage because her dad had put them in there by Lilypad, all that stuff. So they drive over, and Bonnie at this point is completely demoralized. And she gets another bullying group chat, and it's like that meme of like the baby crying, the gif of it in there. And again, I felt like kind of the same thing. I was like, oh, like we're going really heavy feelings here. Like this is a little tough. Like Bonnie's just getting like bullied throughout this movie. And then, you get the scene where she rejects Blaze and Blaze just really wants her to take the toys or play. And you kind of know where this is kind of going to go, but this is like the denouement of the movie, like the lowest point. And this also brings the big tearjerker. So Jessie at this point is demoralized, just like Bonnie. It's never going to happen. And she goes off to the tire swing in the tree where she used to go see Emily. Used to go play with Emily. And she discovers a buried lunchbox under a sign that says Jessie with an arrow. And they undig it all. And it's all late 20th century objects and a photo of adult Emily with her daughter, Jessie, who she named after her toy. And Jessie in this moment realizes the impact she had on Emily all through the years, even though she wasn't actively getting played with. And it kind of restores her faith. Did you guys cry? Tearjerker?
I, surprisingly enough, did.
I thought you were going to say you didn't cry. I was like, going to be like, shut the fuck up.
No, it was one of those.
You did cry?
It caught me so off guard. And I was like, what is it? Because as she's pulling up the stuff, I'm like, what is all this stuff? And then when she pulls up the picture and turns it around, and it said Jessie, and she was like, she named her after me. And I was literally like, oh my God. Like, I wasn't expecting to get that level of emotion in this movie until that point, and it like I said, just caught me so off guard that I was like, I was a mess. I was like, that's amazing.
You cry, Phil?
Yeah, it did not do that for me at all. Didn't get emotional at all. I was like, oh, okay, they connected to it makes sense. I thought it was cool. I didn't hate that it wasn't in the movie. I didn't really get emotional. Didn't hate it. I'm just kind of like, oh, that's cool that they did that. That's basically how I felt. I think the go back to the point about the house and always being the house. That to me, I thought it was cool. Going back to Jessie's house, that to me was a cool location. My brain that during that whole scene with Bullseye was like, where the hell is Jessie's hat? So this is what I was thinking about. I was like, wow, her hair looks so good. The new Toy Story 5, they really did a good job with that, like that yarn hair. And then I'm like, they never explain where to put a hat. And I'm like, no. So now I'm the whole time like, when are they going to show the hat again? So my brain was thinking this as I was going on, but I never think it was a nice touch.
Yeah, I got a little welled up. I bawled in Toy Story 3, and even when I've watched it on Disney Plus now, like the opening scene or the end still will get me. But when they're trying to call Andy and he's just like rummaging through, that still gets me. But yeah, this touched on the heartstrings pretty well, and I thought it was a different type of like twist a little bit. It was less focused on the group of toys and all that, and more just central to. It was a little deeper than what we had gotten before, so I really like that. And this is also the scene where we get the reunion. Everyone kind of reunites, and preceding this, Woody and Buzz had linked up with the Buzz unit, and they were on their way to Star Command because of Jessie's star on her sheriff of the bedroom. So they find Emily's house, and we get the great scene of them taking all the non-talking horses, and they ride them all on horseback to Jessie. And Buzz comes in on like the big unicorn with like the floppy hair and all that. My son was laughing at that. That was fun. And so they're all reunited. I guess this is the first time that Woody and Jessie see each other in the movie.
Yeah.
Must be.
They talk on the radios like when she calls him, but
yes,
that's the first time they see each other.
Right. But they all reconnect, and they essentially all agree to go find Bonnie, and they have to track down Lily to do it. So Lily at this point had thrown herself in a donation truck which is a great character arc for the villain. She felt bad. She saw that she was kind of wrecking Bonnie's life after all these group chats, and you see Bonnie just kind of eating ice cream, and Lily throws herself in this donation truck. So we get like our end Toy Story chase scene in a car. Love doing a chase scene, and they all link up in this donation truck, and we get the scene that Phil said he was talking about, where he didn't love. They have the QR code, and all the buzzes turn to drones and kind of lift up. Dixon, how did you feel about this? Because I know Phil didn't really like it. I kind of like the drone buzzes. What did you feel?
So cool. As soon as the wings popped out, I was like, are they going to have like a jetpack underneath them? Because that would have felt a little bit too close to one. And then when the wings expanded and they turned into like the mini drone, like helicopter things on each end, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Because it would make sense. It was like, all right, well, how do we make these toys cooler or more interesting for kids in this day and age around
or to
tech?
sell.
So you turn them into drones that they can control. You would assume that like if they have like the Wi-Fi attachments to them, like, or that's the reasoning why they have the Wi-Fi attachments, is so you can control them as a drone. I thought it was awesome.
They got to release.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looked cool. I think the design, all that stuff looked cool. I just didn't, to be clear, like all the million buzzes. I didn't fully love that idea, but I think it was cool. Like they looked awesome. I'm not saying that wasn't cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the plot of it all. Yeah. And they kind of drop off after this. They're kind of gone after this until the end credits.
Right, exactly.
They're just like gone. Like
they really didn't need to be in the movie, and then it's like, oh wait, hey, we made a big part of the movie, so like end credits, you get a buzz, and you get a buzz.
Right, right. And truthfully, I didn't even see that because I left the theater right at the start of the credits, so I didn't even get that resolution.
Would it have been better if that happened before the credits?
I don't even know.
Like, all right, you have like this, like Buzz is like, you have your orders, man. And so like they had to drop everybody off where they needed to. And then you see them land in the playground in the kids. Like, would it made it that much, like a little bit better?
I think it was fun where they slot in the movie, because the whole time I'm watching them, I never felt it was like the main part of the movie. Like you're emotional. You just talk about how you got way more emotional than I did about the Jessie thing. Again, I thought it was good, but you got way more emotional, and so it's just like there'd be even more of a disconnect from that if you show that, I think, prior to the credits.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right. It's going to slow things down again because really at this point we are at the end and you know where it's going. So they link up Blaze and Bonnie and, cutting some fat here, but the two meet back at the house and they become friends. And that's kind of what you wanted in this whole, as soon as you kind of met Blaze, you're like, oh, these two would be a great pair. And the toys know it too. And you get this whole resolution where they're both playing in Imagination Time and Lilypad is part of it. And, there's like kind of tech in it. And you kind of got that tease early when Blaze was playing where they have Smarty Pants in there with the big Conan red hair and all that.
Love
that. They do such a nice job of weaving it all in. And at the end, it's all in together. And Woody kind of says goodbye, like his job's done, like goodbye, partner, and heads off with Bo Peep again. And that's kind of the movie. It ends happy and everyone's happy and Bonnie's kind of restored. Even the twins, like Phil said, go over and play with them. So the kids are still playing with toys and stuff like that. So it does kind of button it up really nicely. The only two things I kind of want to talk about with this ending, I'll break it up. Did they have the resolution you needed with the tech? Because ultimately the tech becomes a friend and it's, they're talking about balance, but was the answer tech is the enemy? They didn't ultimately follow through with that, right? So did they deliver on their promise or did they kind of walk it back a little bit?
I don't think that they walked it back necessarily. I think that it was, no, tech is not the enemy, but it's also not going anywhere. Like it's something that we're going to have to get used to being around and something that, can help. Lilypad was instrumental in helping them get back at the end of the day. So I think that, no, it's not necessarily the enemy, but it's also not something that we can completely get rid of or is not, it's going to be around. So we have to figure out a way to work with it. So I think it was not walking it back, but making it kind of tie in at the end.
Yeah, I think the idea of like the tech being bad, they showed you what could happen throughout the movie, right? But at the same point, they showed there's a compromise between the toys, old toys, and tech toys. You can have a world where both of them could be side by side, and you could have successful playtime and have successful toys. Like Buzz can be a regular toy, or Buzz could be a drone. So I think it's even that with the Lilypad helping out. I think Lilypad finding her purpose and how she can help Bonnie, rather than sometimes I have to listen to the toys too. Together we can help Bonnie.
Right.
If you just let the tech do everything, then you're just doing that sleepover with Bonnie and those friends that Gabe knows so well. They're on the couch and they're tapping on their tap on their iPads. Or Lilypads.
And Woody leaves with Bo at the end of this. So.
And Duke-a-boom.
And Duke, right. We talked about a possible 6 and all that, and we'll get to closing arguments right after this. But do we feel like Woody should have stuck around, maybe stayed in the room? Or is it fine that he's gone again?
He better leave. Otherwise, why would you do Toy Story 4 is a waste?
Undoes all 4.
He has to leave. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a big mistake. We talked about undoing the wrongs of 4. I think that was a nice Woody epilogue. And the way you ended it, then it's like, wow, there's no reason to have 4. Why does he come back around? Bonnie hasn't played with him in so long. He was never Bonnie's favorite to begin with. Now it's just like bald, like a little fat Woody. And like now Bonnie's all of a sudden going to play with him. Come on.
Bonnie would be like, what the fuck? I got rid of this guy.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just a shittier version of the one I got rid of.
And to your point, he kind of did exactly what he was out there doing already, like he was out there helping other toys and he was he was helping Jessie and helping Bonnie but didn't end up staying. So I think that it was a good, his storyline made sense after what he did in 4 and where he ended up in 4. So I think it makes perfect sense for him not to go back to Bonnie.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. We're almost at the running time of Toy Story 5. So let's wrap this up.
Once it's 11:30, let's go, guys. I'm good. There's only one movie tonight. Come on.
All right, boys. Can we reach for the sky and close this out to infinity and beyond?
To infinity.
Okay. Closing arguments. very simply, we always tee it up. Phil, do you like this movie?
I do. I like it. I like it a
I
lot.
like it a lot. Dixon?
Yes, I do like this movie very much so.
I do too, and it seems like the world does as well. Currently sitting at, I believe, a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 95 audience score. So all around, very beloved. A tick lower than some of the other Toy Story films. 1 and 2 are like 100%, 3 is 98, and I think 4 is 97. But I think things will level out, and I think ultimately this is just on par as the other films. So let's do a quick rankings for ourselves. If you know it off the top of your head. Phil, 5 included, where would you rank the Toy Story films, best to worst?
It's Toy Story 2, and then you don't need to watch anything else. It's Toy Story 2. I think I keep the same ranking of 2, 3, 1. I'll put 5 ahead of 4 for now. I think you can convince me over time. Maybe over time I can put 5 over 1, maybe. But like 1's so iconic and so good. Like the negatives of 1 really is like it just looks a little dated.
Yeah.
Like the people and like Sid's dog kind of looks insane looking. If you think like the negatives of 1 is more like just what it looks like, where the negatives of 5, like I said, it just kind of plot. Like the buzzes are cool looking, but like I just felt like it was, to me, it was like just plot holes to get them out of it.
Right.
Quick, or the toys. How did the toys get here? Like it just doesn't make sense, and so that kind of holds it back from 1. Where 1, I think, is a flawless movie as far as the plot is concerned. So that was kind of what I would do with that. And then 4, there are some 4 parts I really do like about 4. I think Woody's epilogue, it does make sense, him not to go back with Bonnie. Randy Newman, Throw Yourself Away. Awesome song. Duke Boom. I really like Duke. Duke Boom might be on my Mount Rushmore of Toy Story characters. I'm dead serious. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
So there's some pluses for 4, but I put 5 ahead of that, of 4.
Dixon?
I think I still have 3 as my number 1. I don't know if I did 3-1-2 or 3-2-1. I think maybe Phil just got into my head, and so I'm putting 2 a little bit higher than 1 now. I might have just like he might have convinced me that
He incepted you.
He might have incepted me.
Exactly.
So I think right now I'm probably gonna go 3, and then 2 and 1 are probably like 2A and 2B for me in no particular order. Then I would put this movie and then 4.
I think I'm the same. I think I'm 3, 2, 1, 5, 4. And the only reason I would put 1 ahead of 5 at the moment is that it's just simpler. It does more or the same with less. It's just an easy plot to get behind, where this one, there's a lot happening. The buzzes, the tech, Emily, all of the other stuff rolled in. So it's a very complicated story. 1 is so simple and so good. So I think I'll stick with that, but not as a detriment to 5 that I'm keeping it outside the original trilogy. I just think that those are just stronger on their own. So we already telegraphed that there would probably be a 6. We don't know for sure anything like that. The movie just came out. But it made $70 million this weekend, I believe, which is big money so far. Those are at least the numbers I saw. So Toy Story 6, we already had kind of talked about ideas for it, and one of that was Andy picking up the toys and all that, or it being a Bonnie closer, or maybe it's both a Bonnie closer and Andy still gets the toys. What would you guys want to see out of 6 in like 8 years from now?
Do it before Tom Hanks and Tim Allen get too old.
The only request.
That's what I want to see out of 6.
I wouldn't be upset with. I like the idea. I mean, I like the idea of bringing Andy back in, even though he would be an adult. So maybe not making him as instrumental in the movie, like if he has a kid, and like I do like that idea of him trying to find the toys for his kids or something around that. But I really don't know. I don't think you needed 4 and 5, though I enjoyed both of those movies. 5 more so than 4, but really just give me Woody and Buzz, give me You Got a Friend in Me by Randy Newman, and I'm good. That's all I really need out of another Toy Story movie. Like that's it.
I think at this point we need one more to kind of close it out, because 4 had 3 obviously had a closeout ending. 4 had kind of a closeout ending. They did not do it with 5. They kind of learned their lesson. Like, we're not going to say goodbye here. It's kind of like it's over, but it doesn't have to be over. So I think we will get a 6. I just don't know where they'll go. But I think after 6, not to kill the franchise, but I think then they could probably do another closer, and then we could maybe take a little break. And then, who knows where the voices will go and all that, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, I mean, Tim Allen already said he needed a voice coach to help him get back to his deep voice of Buzz, which is absurd that you really need voice acting lessons to get back to what Buzz sounded like 20 years ago.
Right, your own voice.
These, yeah. So you're not changing your voice. It's not like Hank Azaria, Simpsons, playing all these different characters.
Right.
It's just it's just Tim Allen. You're just talking. You're just saying it to infinity and beyond in your normal voice. Maybe I guess I see him in an interview and he gets it's down here. I'm like, okay, I guess it sounds exactly how you talk. Literally you playing Santa Claus in the Santa Claus. It sounds the same to me.
Did you see the clip where they're they have to, after they record all their lines, they just sit in the studio and they go yeah, and they just make all these sound effects of the toys getting hit or rolling down the hill, and it's just they catch the movie. It's oh that was a good one.
It's so good. So in Toy Story 1, I saw a clip of some guy talking about it, and he's like, Tom Hanks must have just been screaming and screeching throughout the whole movie, and then you realize we watched Toy Story 1 and count how many times Tom Hanks just goes,
right, the whole movie, so good.
It's amazing.
That's the you see the video of Hugh Jackman when he was recording the some of the over dubs for Wolverine. And there's just him in the room with the camera, and he's just Rah! He's just screaming.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right, boys. Anything else you guys want to say on Toy Story 5, or are we all good here?
I think we're all good.
Tap.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this. That is a wrap on Toy Story 5. And on our Toy Story rewatch, you had all these moving buddies here together, our Roundup gang, talking about our favorite animated series here. And we'll just wait for the inevitable Toy Story 6 now. But in the meantime, we're not going anywhere. Next week, we're covering DC's Supergirl. And then we are leading into Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. So we're going to have 2 films before that. We're going to do Troy, obviously, leading into The Odyssey. And we're also going to do Tenet, Christopher Nolan's most controversial film, because why not? One that doesn't get talked about too much. So we're going to reassess Tenet and look at that.
It sucks.
That's how I kind of felt too. But I've only seen it once, so we'll see. But so that's what we have coming up. And then we're going to do Spider-Man. Can't believe we're almost in July. So lots to look forward to in the Movie Marathon podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for helping us build this thing. And remember, the movie may be over, but the marathon always continues. Peace.
Yeah, bud.